Hey y'all, happy Booktober. We're going to do a book haul and a book review and let you guys know what I'm reading. So these are the books I got in October. All right, so Why We Want You to Be Rich by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. And the second one is Rich Woman by Kim Kiyosaki because I hate being told what to do. So y'all, I got a total of 4 books this book haul, and let me open up these 2 Amazon packages so y'all can see what I got. So y'all, these are the other 2 books written by a person with a very cool name, Flame Newton. So The School of Credit, Learn and Master the 12 Levels of the American Credit System. And this one is Learn and Master the 8 Levels of the Business Credit System. So y'all, that's my October book haul. Well, okay, let me go put these books away and I'm going to show y'all what I'm currently reading. This is one of the books, How Women Rise. There is a new book club at my job and they're currently reading this book. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. So during the next conversation, I'll have something to contribute. This is also one of the books, Success from the Inside Out by Nona Jones. Power to Rise from the Past to a Fulfilling Future. This here is a book that my sister-in-law wrote. I'm going to read it. I read it before, but I didn't quite finish it. And another book I'm going to read is Awakening by Rick Joyner. And also, y'all, I'm going to read All the Days Past, All the Days to Come by Mildred Taylor. It is the last book about the Logan family. If y'all have heard of or read or saw the movie Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, it is about this family. And I told myself once that I wanted all of Mildred Taylor's books, and praise Jesus, I have them. And let's see here, The Road to Memphis. That's a wild one. They're all pretty wild, but The Road to Memphis, in it, Cassie was 17. And in this one, well, I think in this one, she's interested in a lawyer. So she's 17 and she's interested in this lawyer who's a few years older than her. And in this one, the back cover said that she's going to be in law school. So we'll see. We'll see. I also want to mention, y'all, in this one, when she was like interested in that lawyer, there was a guy named Mo, her brother's best friend, Stacy's best friend. Mo had some feelings for Cassie, but Mo hit a white man and that white man died. And you don't get to live a fairy tale life with the woman you love if you hit a white man and he dies, or if you hit a white man at all back in them days during segregation time. So Mo had to go to Chicago, and I don't know if Cassie is ever going to see him again or if anybody's ever going to see him again, but Mo had to flee for his life. So Mo is not going to get his happily ever after with Cassie. But so yeah, that's All the Days Past, All the Days to Come. But y'all, Mo hit that white guy because that guy, I don't remember his name, and some other white men were disrespecting Mo in front of Cassie. So Mo just hauled off, grabbed something, and hit the man. Y'all, so let's get on with the book review. So I did have the hard copy, but I gave it to my sister, and I listened to the book on Audible. I'm going to be sharing things that stood out to me. Lots of things stood out, but I'm going to try to just depress this video into like, well, maybe this section into like 10 minutes, no longer than 10 minutes. All right, y'all. So this author is Morgan Harper Nichols. I have listened to her music and followed her poetry since 2015. And I do love her content. I really am into her sister's content. I do want to say, just because I really like, most of what somebody does doesn't mean that I follow them completely. You don't have to agree with 100% of what somebody does. And I know that she used to be into the Enneagram. I don't know if she still is. But that's just something that I never ascribed to. It just always looked like a pentagram to me. just always look like something I want to stay away from. So don't think that, hey, since Ashley likes Morgan Harper Nichols, she likes and agrees with everything that that woman does, because I don't, okay? But so let's get on with the review. Y'all, here are a few lines in the book that really stood out to me. Say yes to whatever helps you bloom the way you were meant to. Pay attention to the places where you feel the most freedom to be yourself. Y'all, here's one I really liked. Say yes to opening the window. It doesn't change everything, but it changes something. Okay, y'all. So I must say, working from home, opening up, the blinds, it really just, it does help. It lifts my mood. It brings light in, gives me a chance to look at nature. So again, that line is, say yes to opening the window. It doesn't change everything, but it changes something. So we can't always change everything about our lives. We can't change everything about a situation, but we can just change something. We can improve something. Even if ever so slightly, it still makes a difference. But yep, y'all, so this is mostly just going to be things that stood out to me. I do want to say there were a lot of parts when I just had to just rest, reflect, and even cry. Yep, y'all, I like how she said that community doesn't always mean that you have to be in the presence of people, and it can look different from season to season. For example, even being just part of a virtual book club, or however community looks. It may be gathering with your fellow college friends in one season, but meeting at a friend's house for regular Bible studies in another. It's still community. It doesn't have to look the same from season to season. All right, y'all. She had a chapter on empathy, chapter 8. And this is what I really love that she said, okay? And okay, I also put that I truly immediately loved it. That's one of the notes that I took. But she said, when you have empathy, you don't wonder why things are so hard for people or how they landed themselves in that position. You only seek to support. So I thought that that was great. No judgment, okay? No judgment. You're not wondering, man, why is this so hard for her when it's so easy for me and for others? You're just looking for ways that you can support. And I just thought that was so healing. I just really believe in being an ally in whatever ways people need. So I just really love that chapter. Y'all, chapter 10 is on journaling. She said that by journaling, she was getting to know her own voice. And y'all, this whole book is called, again, Peace is a Practice. So it's about practicing peace every chapter. And she said by journaling, we practice peace by recognizing that we have something to say. You have experiences that are worthy of expression, even if for only the sake of gratitude, for finding peace for your own life journey. One of the purposes of journaling is to practice sharing your story. And y'all, she mentioned that, she had a mug that meant a lot to her. And it was basically saying, think about the things you have, the seemingly small things that actually mean a lot to you. So she started talking about this mug that she had. And again, going back to journaling, she said, this is one of the many gifts of taking the time to write. You wind up appreciating things that a busy world convinced you were not worth noticing. You end up finding peace for parts of your story you didn't even realize you needed. Journaling really allows for reflection, which in turn allows for more peace. Chapter 11 is on silence. She was basically saying, oh, the world likes to call silence awkward silence. Oh, it was such an awkward silence. But she was saying that silence is a good thing. And she said, make time for silence in your daily life so that when the time comes when you need to reflect and be silent, you can be at peace with the silence. Intentionally seek moments of peace and quiet. I don't mean to read so much of this woman's book, but it's just a lot of good stuff that stood out to me. And I don't know how else to share it except for just, reading it verbatim. So she said, intentionally seek moments of peace and quiet. When it came time to speak, the silence helped her nurture a part of her voice that she might not have known had she kept on speaking. Pace yourself into silence, slowly becoming more and more comfortable with the silence. Practice peace by speaking up when the time is right. Silence teaches us to inhale in a mindful way. It also teaches us to exhale and let things go without always having to say something. Be attentive to the timing of when you should speak and when you should be silent. Y'all, chapter 12 is on rest. She said we often feel we have to earn rest. And this was just so healing for me, this chapter. She said many of us live with the unspoken idea that only those who have worked to earn their keep should be allowed to rest. There's no doubt that many of us have struggled to cultivate a healthy relationship with rest. Whether due to busyness, guilt, or a disquieted mind, rest is difficult to come by, especially on a regular basis. She went on to say that nature has built-in rhythms of rest, and she said the original intention for natural light, that we would pace ourselves with the rising and setting of the sun. So she was talking about rest even with the rising and setting of the sun. She was talking about how we have all this artificial light in our homes and how it can just really interfere with our rest. We lengthen our days and we get less rest because we try to lengthen our days by using this artificial light, these light bulbs and stuff. Went on to talk about how this woman lived for a year. Her and her family lived for a year with only candles, and that they felt more rested. He said some things were harder, such as cooking, but we did feel more rest. So basically that chapter was just like, sometimes candlelight is just enough. She put, for all of the excess light we have, a flicker is just enough. That goes back to rest and to just, acknowledging that the world, the earth has natural rhythms. The sun rises, the sun sets, and we should just, take a lesson from the world around us and rest as well. She put, one of the best indicators that you are rested is when suddenly you're not in a hurry. We all have access to clocks and to internal clocks fighting to get our attention every day. And she said, rest in the unhurry that is rooted in creation. Where you find gratitude, you might find rest. To rest is to practice peace. Resist the pressure to always be on. In a modern technological world, it is only through practice that we learn to live unhurried. Slowing down, resting, and feeling guilty for it may seem like an uphill battle because we've never been here before, and we are learning as we go. Chapter 13, of course, like every other chapter, was great. It's about grief. She said, through grief, we practice peace by letting it all out. Practice peace by not invalidating our losses. Encountering people who have lost more than we have does not invalidate our losses. Practice peace by not discounting your losses. In the same way we can't measure someone's joy based on what they have, we cannot measure their grief based on what they lost. Grief is deep sorrow. There is no ranking. Don't discount your losses or push aside your pain. You are allowed to grieve right here, right now. You are allowed to grieve however you need to, even if that means grieving a lifetime. And she was talking about how she lost her dog as a child. There is no wrong reason to grieve. There is no wrong reason to grieve. That is why she said, don't invalidate your losses, because she was telling herself, ew, people have lost their children and their mothers, their family members. I only lost my dog, but that's still a loss. Chapter 14, healing. I am worthy of the time it takes to do the things that heal my heart. It is easy to underestimate how much people need to be seen. We practice peace by not putting time constraints on the healing process. No two wounds heal the same. We practice peace by accepting that slowness does not equate to ineffectiveness. Healing differently from someone else doesn't mean you're healing wrong. Chapter 15, letting it out. Small admissions still take practice to say out loud. So if something hurt you that was seemingly small, or, that you may even feel was small, it may still take practice to say, hey, this hurt me. People's voices are often silenced. So You know, it takes effort, it takes growth to be able to just speak up for yourself. Practice peace by speaking up, not minimizing our hurts. You can practice peace by letting someone into the space you are convinced no one would understand. There are people out there willing to support you and also seek justice on your behalf. Release the need for being in control. And she also put in a part where she was like, if you really love something, do it without getting paid. Do it for free. And that's when she added, do something without being acknowledged or recognized. Practice letting go for the sake of remembering the real reason you love what you do. So she was saying practice peace by, again, letting it out. It doesn't have to be for a paycheck, doesn't have to be for acknowledgement, but just do what you love simply because you love it. What you love simply because you love it as a way to practice peace. Chapter 7, planning. A plan is just that, a plan. It's okay if it doesn't all get done. There will still be significance in your day. Before making a plan, it's important to know your goal, your intention. And intention is the heart of the plan, getting down to even why you want to do this in the first place. Rather than focusing on getting every detail right or focusing on an unknown future, you can go deeper into the details of your story that's already written. I really like that part. Rather than focusing on getting every detail right or focusing on an unknown future, you can go deeper into the details of your story that's already written. There is significance in what we've already done. I was just telling the Lord today, I'm like, Lord, if I never accomplish anything else, if something happens to me today, I've accomplished enough. I'm grateful. The good life, even if I don't do anything else, and there's significance in my story, even in what I've already done. There's value even in what I've already done, how I've already lived, what I've already experienced, and how far I've come. Yeah, y'all, this is the chapter on planning. She goes on to ask, what questions do you keep asking yourself in the middle of the day? What places in the past do you long for? What thoughts do you keep going back to? What does your longing say about what you might want to do in the future? She says, there's so much richness in your story already, and there's still time to learn from where you've been. Make plans that allow you to add to the threads that have already been woven in your life. Your plans point you to the bigger picture so that you can be reminded that a little list does not determine your worth. Remember the intentions behind what you do. You've got this. You've been on your way here for a long time. All right, let's see here. 3 steps to planning with intention. Notice what gets most of your attention. Make plans for the future based on the change you'd like to see. Let wisdom and grace remind you that you don't have to process things right away. Number 2, think about accomplishments you're most proud of and what steps you had to take to reach those goals. Also, reflect on activities you enjoy that don't drain you. Make plans considering how you're wired. Number 3, after you have written your plans for the future, write down your hopes, prayers, and heart for the present. Regarding the things that, you've done in your past, she says, you will see that those threads connected to other threads. You continue to be present with all you had in every season. You kept going. Amen. Then she says, through planning, we get to the heart of what's important to us. All right. I love this right here. What she says next, she says, maybe the heart of your plan to move to a new city is adventure. So I love how she talks about the plans we have, but she's like, get down to what the heart is. Get down to the nitty gritty. So I love that. Maybe the heart of your plan to move to a new city is adventure. Take a look at the heart of your plan, even while you wait to see how your plan falls into place. You can still nurture the heart of the plan today. By discovering the heart, you will see that you can still breathe deep and know peace without knowing what comes next. I am worthy of love right here as I am. Make a list of all you could do in your life. She wants us to really know within ourselves how certain paths would make us feel, how certain paths our lives take. So this is what she said. She said, make a list of all you could do in your life. Include unfavorable alternatives. Leave the list alone for a week. When you return to it, pay attention to the emotions you feel as you read through it. She talked about using a GPS. Okay, so we trust the GPS, but even while we're looking at the GPS, we don't exactly know. We can't fully know how the journey is going to go because there could be traffic or anything that could cause a delay or just affect our trip in any way. So Again, this is the chapter on trusting. She says, by trusting, we are looking at the map while simultaneously knowing the journey may be different or may look different. And y'all, we have the GPS, we have the map, but we know the journey may still be different. We know the journey may not actually be that 6 hours that the GPS says. It could be a little longer. All right, y'all, then I put chapter 9, growing. So she was mentioning that she was just talking to a group of children and how they were saying, oh yes, I've been through kindergarten. It was hard. And then first grade was harder. Second grade was harder. Third grade was so hard. And she was just encouraging them to acknowledge how far they have come. And she was saying wisdom finds us at every age. I love how she mentioned that sometimes people just try to count you out. Yep, that's the word. People try to count you out based on your age. But you know what? I also loved how she was saying, you know, teenagers, I just love the empathy, the understanding, you know, that she has and that she encourages her readers to have. I love how she was talking about how teenagers, you know, may not be at a point yet. I'm just going to say may because some of them are, where they can just manage their emotions. And I don't know. I don't recall all that chapter said, but it was just wonderful. And I do feel like a lot of people just, you know, just don't give children, you know, the credit that they deserve. People aren't as patient or respectful of children as they should be. I feel like everybody deserves respect. Children deserve respect. Y'all, she had a chapter on hope. I like to take notes when I'm listening to audiobooks, but I was driving listening to some of this, so I couldn't just keep on taking notes. But all right, so I basically have a little summary, you know, based on what she said at the end of the book. She said, community looks different from season to season. Resist the urge to always be on. Living in the lifelong process of being unhurried. You are free to feel what you need to in order to heal. She actually said you are free to feel what you need to heal. But practice peace by speaking up, never minimizing how you've been hurt, allowing others to join you in support and seeking justice and accountability. Practice peace with a plan that is rooted in getting to the heart of what's truly important, not defined by failures and successes, but by the love you give and the life you live right here in the present. Life is ordinary and extraordinary all at once. Embrace the lifelong process of becoming by recognizing that every small breath is a part of something greater. With every inhale and every exhale, you are becoming. Practice peace with hope by keeping an active imagination, allowing yourself to dream, continuing to believe that peace is possible. But yep, y'all, that's the book. I really like it. It's definitely worth reading again. And glad I shared it with my sister so she can read it. And well, y'all, I think that is it. I will say I'm taking the day off tomorrow. I just need a little break. And I need to get caught up on schoolwork. And I just need like some time away from work because I have to go into the office this week. And I'm just like, I just need a break from social interaction. But y'all, that is it. That is it. Okay, well, maybe my next book review will be different, but I know that this review is what it needs to be. And Morgan, if you see this review, I hope you like it. I really enjoyed your book. Thanks for making it into an audiobook. My ADHD brain really appreciated that. But love you guys. God bless. Good night. See you on Monday.